Hello and welcome to my writer's vlog. My name is Danielle Asbury and I'm going to give you an update on my writing. First things first, this is my third or my fourth video. My previous videos I was talking about me writing Forbidden. Well, the latest news is I am not writing Forbidden anymore. I'll be writing it in the future date, but at the moment, no, I'm on something else. So this video I'm going to show you my first ever try at writing. I've got evidence of that and obviously an update on a new story that I am doing. So first things first, I'm going to show you a little bit of history. This, ladies and gentlemen, is something I had written years ago when I was in year 8, so I think I was at the age of 12, 13. And this was the first time I had ever been given a task to write a story. Because I'm from a special needs background, I never really had the opportunity to actually write a story. So when I was in my English class at school, and the teacher says, "Oh, you need to write a short story," I was like, "Oh God, I've never done this before." And it turns out that I had a gift. So I'm going to show you this. This is what I created, the front cover. This is what I drawn. So yeah, and it's called Strange Creatures Who Broke the Paradise of Underwater Zone. So yeah, so I thought it's quite cool actually. You can see how it used to look, and then the fear in the eyes, and then the creatures that break in, and that's the end result. All on one page. So there you go. So there's page 1. Can't see there. See the date? 2003. So yeah, this is quite a few pages. I'd say about 8 pages, 9 pages. So that's my handwriting there. And this is what the teacher said. Very dramatic, Danielle. I really enjoyed this story. Be careful with proofreading, as there are some silly errors. Well done. So yeah, this was when I realised that writing was for me, and I was taken into a whole world. There was no stopping me. As soon as I started, there was no stopping me. And also, what's really fun when I look back at this is that I'm into romance, as you know, periodic and even modern. I'm into romance, but this one is not romantic whatsoever. It's about a brother and a sister living with their father in this underwater zone. Then obviously there's a massive outbreak, these like alien dinosaur creatures, and they're ripping people apart. There's blood everywhere, dead bodies, you know, and the brother and the sister are screaming. They're saying, "Ah!" But they end up getting killed at the end. I don't think that's romantic. Let's talk about the book I am now working on. I'm now on chapter 4. I have already typed up about 17,000 words. It's actually a draft copy. There's a lot more I can fit into what I've already typed up, but yes, that's it at the moment. It's a lot different to Forbidden. This is full of action, suspense, mystery. I don't want to reveal too much. Gore, there's some gory scenes. What I like about it is in the first chapter, it doesn't start off just waking up, or it doesn't start off with the characters in a dream or anything like that. It starts off with a very strong prologue, a prologue that will get my readers questioning, as in, what am I reading and what is this about? The whole point about that is that later on in the book, the reader will be like, "Oh, I know what the prologue is now," and then might choose to go back to the prologue quickly, reread through it, and it will all make sense. Throughout the book, there's going to be some little dropping of the hints, little bit of a mystery thing going on here, so the reader's going to be like, "What's that about?" What, you know, or there's things that can be easily missed, like it's a little hint, but the readers won't realise it's a hint until when they reread it or something. They'll pick up on it and they're like, "Oh yeah, you know, just put that in there." So Yeah, in the first chapter, it's straight in it. The main character's called Gina. She's at university doing a dissertation. She's in the library. She's studying. She's bored with it. She thinks that she sees more of the books than her family and her friends. And she's blasting Metallica in her ears. Her personality comes out quite strong in the first chapter. And also there's an introductory to a few new characters what are very mysterious. When my friend proofread it the other week, she thought it was, well, this person in particular, the character, she thinks that it's something, where as a matter of fact she was completely wrong. He is actually something else. So it's a lot of mystery with this book. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to upload a lot of updates with writing this book, because there's a lot I can't really say, because it will ruin it. The whole point about this book is that it's just full of mystery, and the reader works out the mystery along with the main character, and it will all start piecing together as the book goes on. The difference with this book, apart like with Forbidden, let's say, is that I'm working at this being a series, either 2 books or 3 books. The funny thing about it is that I am still struggling with coming up with a title for this new book, which has never been a part. I mean, I've never had a problem with choosing a title for my book in the past, never. It's always clicked. Well, for some unknown reason, I don't know why, but this particular book, I cannot think of a topic, and it is really, really getting to me. So, but the second book, I've already planned what that's going to be about, the plot and the twists and things, the characters that are going to be involved. The title for that one would be The Immortal Saviour, and I think it's quite a good title. Definitely catching, I would say. But yeah, I am very stuck on the first book, which is quite frustrating, and I need for it to be as good as the title for the second book. So let's think what I can actually say that it's about. I will say I'm going to tell you what would be said at the back of the book once it's published. What it is, the girl Gina, she's studying at college. She's doing ancient history and archaeology. It's based in England, in Birmingham, and she's studying at the University of Birmingham, so it's actually a university. The layout of it is as it described in the book. What can I say? She turns 21 on her birthday, but in a mysterious way, magically, she ends up being taken out of our world and into a new world. So she wakes up in this new world, in an alleyway, and she realises that people are wearing periodical clothes and that, and she's by the sea, there's loads of seagulls, she can smell the salt in the air, and she's like, okay, where am I? She's a bit in a fog at the moment. She doesn't know if this is a dream or has she been out partying and this is like some kind of place she's ended up at in Birmingham, you know. And then she ends up getting chased by a load of men. She runs, and then she bumps into the main character. His name's called Thane. I think he is actually the best character I've ever came up with, I've ever created, that is ever going to exist, I think. You'll fall in love with the character straight away. He's very sarcastic. He's very sort of, I wouldn't say short-tempered, but he'll let you know if you've angered him or you disobeyed him. He's very, to start off with, he's very short with her, because he doesn't care about anyone, just himself, to be honest. And all I can say is that he is a captain of a ship, and she ends up embarking on the adventure, sharing it with him. But during that adventure, things then happen. Thane and his crew then have to go somewhere else, and obviously Gina's going with her. And there's a lot of mysterious things about what's going on around Gina. There's something about Gina that you guys won't find out until you read. But Gina isn't just a girl who is studying at uni and have managed to somehow travel back in time, but in a whole different fantasy world. There's more to her. That's all I am going to say, because if I say any more, I'm going to ruin it. But yeah, so it is full of mystery. You get to be introduced as well to the crew members with Thane. That they are very, what should I say? Full of character. Their personalities are different. There's one girl called Dahlia, or I don't know how you pronounce it actually. It's strange that I don't know how to pronounce my character's name, but yeah, she's good. She's one of the crew members, and she doesn't stand for any crap. You know, she's really cool. She's badass, but she loves her rum. She loves her rum. If you go anywhere near her rum, you take her rum, she'll probably cut your head off, to be honest. She loves her rum too much. There's another character, an older man, probably in his mid-40s. He's got a beard, a bit of grey going on, and his name's called Mac. He loves his tobacco. He's always got a pipe in his mouth or a cigar. If you touch his cigars or you touch his tobacco, he'll have ya. And he does give out a polite warning to Gina about that. And there's another one called Gandalf. Gandalf, I think, is going to be actually one of my favourites, one of my favourite crew members. He's not human. He's very big. He looks... I don't know how to explain this without making it sound a bit daft. But once you read it and you read how I described him, it sort of makes sense. But he looks like a giant hamster. That's all I can say. He's got like a snout. Not big, but a bit small. He's got like the button nose, he's got deep eyes, very piercing. He's got a little bit of a whiskers. His mouth is quite big that follows up like that. He's wearing a big, massive, like typical pirate hat. He's got long, curly, thick hair that's at the back, and he's got like a beard that goes down like that. He's very like sort of extravagant. He's very big. He's very fluffy, but he's very loyal. He's got a very deep voice. But if you cross him, you'll know about it. So that's what it is like with all the crew, with the main crew members that the readers will be introduced quite a lot to. They're very strong-minded, but each of them have their weaknesses. As you know, as a writer, every character needs to have a weakness, every character needs to have strength. Weakness is what makes the character more believable, more realistic, and easier to manipulate into your plot. So I love it when I come up with characters' weaknesses, because then I've got an idea of how I can mould their weaknesses into the plot and make it more dramatic. So yes, there is one thing I have been struggling with doing, and that's to describe whole new creatures onto paper, onto what they look like, so my readers can visually see where I'm trying to get at, and also coming up with names, because there are some really good names of creatures that's already in Xbox games, PS4 games, you know, consoles, like Gears of War Locusts. I love that name, Locust, and I wish I could use it in my book, but I can't. So I'm creating whole new names and whole new creatures. Creatures that probably are similar to the creatures that are already out in games, let's say, where the readers will probably find it a little bit easier to picture that way, but obviously a little bit different and completely different names. So I'm trying to create new, strong, quick, quirky names that sort of matches with their characteristics. There's one I'll mention, is called the Zavens. And what do Zavens sound like? Ravens. Basically, they're humanoid creatures, but they have the long nose like a beak. They're very slim and slender, but they are strong, and they have large black wings. So, but they're basically like, you know, ravens. Black ravens. That's why I called them Zavens, and I think the letter Z is quite strong. Zavens. So I thought that's a good one. And another one is called Vokans. Now, if you listen to Vokan, it sounds like a falcon. So one of the creatures is like a humanoid, more softer features, more human looking, but they have like falcon wings, big wings. They're the good creatures, they are. The Zavens are the bad creatures. So they're the only two that sounds familiar. It's because they are quite close. Their breed is quite close, but they're mortal enemies. And you'll find that out when you read the book. So I'm trying to find what other. I've called another creature Reavers. Reavers has been used in something somewhere else. but I thought that that name really does go well with one of my creatures. So yeah, the book is just full of action, full of creatures and stuff, and yeah, so I can't really reveal too much. So the next video, like an update to this, will probably be in a few months' time when I'm like halfway through the book, and I might be able to give you a bit of an update on that. But unfortunately, I cannot tell you much about the plot and what is actually going to happen or what's going on, because I really don't want to reveal too much and spoil it for you for when you buy it. You have to buy it. You have to buy it. So that's it. So thanks for watching and take care. Happy writing and mwah. Peace out.